it does seem like a very, very thin bit of plastic, those horns, to hold up the whole of the leg and therefore the whole of the Megazord.
Alpha, the Falcon is back. Prepare for him a hard work with attitude.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of Build the Megazord, where we're looking at issue 54 this week, and we are continuing with the Triceratops that we left 2 weeks ago because I have had a 2-week break. For those of you who are watching this in the future, that won't matter to you because it'll just be a follow-on. But yes, I've had a 2-week break. Last time I spoke to you properly was before Easter, and then I did a review of the Super 7 Ultimates T-Rex Dinozord, and then I did a very short YouTube short about the Power Rangers special Once and Always, which is still on the channel if you want to go check that out. But let's get started in this video by looking at the pieces that we get in issue 54. Actually, we're going to start by finishing off something that I didn't do 2 weeks ago. I should have finished off issue 53 more, so let's get going with that by looking at the part that we got in issue 51. And what we need to do is we need to, this little kind of T groove here, this little space here, what we do with that is we push this part in there like that. It's a really, really nice snug fit. So that means that this whole part has a little bit of movement up. Sorry, I haven't got on camera. This little part goes up and down like that, and then this part kind of covers over like that. And I can start to see now what this part is going to be of the Triceratops, especially as we bring in the parts we get in this issue. So I'm just going to put this aside just for the moment and bring back the Triceratops head. And then we get this flat grey part, which has some nice detailing on. Actually, it's not completely flat. And this is the first part that we get from issue 54. And this peg here, so not this big one with kind of 4 spikes next to it, it's just this little peg here, that goes through the whole of the joint here like that. And then what we do is we bring back this blue part here. It's going to be quite hard to show you, but the peg there and the peg there line up with these two holes here, and this part sort of gets out the way as well. So it's just a case of lining everything up so it fits, and then screwing it together through the screw holes at the bottom. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. And there we have that part all in, and it's tradition with any time you do any work with the Triceratops head, the horns have come off. Now, you may remember 2 weeks ago I made an error in putting parts together. Yes, I know, it is unusual. But I thought that a joint was quite thin, and I couldn't quite believe it happened. Turned out not to be the case, because like I say, it was an error. However, there is a join here that does seem quite thin. If I just get this part here, and you can just see down there, that seems like a very thin kind of connection to hold this whole part of the Triceratops, which is going to be larger and more bulky, especially when we stand it upright and we can see we've got the Megazord leg there. It does seem like a very, very thin bit of plastic to hold up, those horns, to hold up the whole of the leg and therefore the whole of the Megazord. However, if I go over to the SOC counterpart, which is what the Altaya one is very heavily based on, you can see just in there it's also a very thin bit of plastic that supports the whole of the Megazord and leg as well, just that part in there. And the engineering for this, it doesn't feel like it's thin at all. Maybe because it's kind of very protected around it, I don't know. So I just hope that the engineering work on the Altaya one is as good as it is on the SoC, and it should be. There's no reason why it shouldn't be, because it's based very heavily off it. But it is just something that I'm a bit concerned about. I hope that nothing snaps. I really wish that this part was metal, or this part was metal as well, because it is going to get weighty, this Megazord. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And I'm just going to leave these horns flying loose because I can't bother to deal with all that. Anyway, that's just a concern. Let's move on to the rest of the build. In fact, let's just bring that up there like that to make it sure it's all neat. And then I'll just put this aside just for the moment. And I'm going to bring in this part here. Now this part looks great. You know, this is obviously the side of the Triceratops. It already looks quite iconic. And we also have this part, which we got in the last issue. Now the difference between this part and this part, as you can hear from the tapping, this part is metal, which is great. This part is plastic. And apart from the head, this is the first metal part of the Triceratops body that we have had. So I'm very excited that the kind of outer framework is going to be metal. You know, concerns about weight that I just mentioned notwithstanding. So what we need to do is we need to put that part over there, and it's a very nice mould. It fits very neatly, very nicely around there like that. And then if I get my screw holes correct, just to make sure I get it right, it is that screw hole there which we're going to use. I'm not going to speed up this section, just going to use this silver screw here just to attach the metal plating to the plastic bodywork. That's why we're using a silver screw, because they are designed more for metal, and the black screws are for plastic through plastic. And there we go, that metal part is all on there. It is a little loose. Let's see if I can tighten it a bit. Is it just the one connection? There must be more connections coming up that will hold this more in place, but yeah, I didn't fully do it. There we go, that's that rattling stopped. Yeah, so just make sure that is nicely all secured there like that. And then what we need to do is we need to get another really iconic part of the build, and it's this lovely detailing here, which is different to the original Megazord that we got in the 90s, but this is more show accurate. It is the same as the one on the SoC Megazord, because it is show accurate. And what we need to do is it's got two pegs there and two holes there, and we just push it on there like that and hold it in place just for a moment, because we've got these other two pieces of detailing here which are kind of the gunmetal grey again, and one of them goes over this section here like that, and the other one goes over this section here. Go the right way around like that, and then I'm going to flip it around and screw everything all together. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that now. There we go, that's that part all done. You don't screw these two parts in, these detailing parts here. You can kind of glue them here if you want to, because you can go back and push them out. I might actually put some super glue there, but not until I know kind of what's happening here with the wheel section of this part. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. Yeah, lovely detailing part. And then just to show you what it will look like, I'm just going to bring in my dehorned Triceratops, hold it around there, and then this part will eventually slide in there like that, and you get a sense then of the T-Rex coming together. You know, it's not perfect, but if I hold that there you go. Not the T-Rex, sorry, the Triceratops. You get a sense of what it's going to look like in future issues. But that is it for this issue, and as I rearrange this to make it look more presentable, that is the end of this video. Really nice to be back doing it. Hopefully there'll be no more delays, but like I have said previously, this delay was caused by the issues in France being delayed, and I am a slave to that. Obviously I can't build what I don't have, but yeah, really enjoying it. Glad to be back, and I will be back next week as we continue to build more of the Triceratops. So until then guys, take care, bye bye.